Hi friends, next video from Dhruva Edutainment and Vidu classes. Friends, Dhruva Edutainment and Vidu classes. What is our question, friends? Write short notes on lymph. Lymph, friends. Friends, in our body we have two types of fluids. You know it. One is blood. Blood is a fluid connective tissue. You know pretty well about blood, friends. In addition to blood, we have one more fluid. That is lymph, friends. That is lymph. Okay, friends? Now, come to our answer, friends. What is lymph? Lymph is the extracellular fluid. Extracellular fluid. Friends, here, what is extracellular fluid? The fluid which is present outside the cells is called as extracellular fluid. Extracellular fluid is also called as intercellular fluid because it is present in between two cells. It is also called as tissue fluid because it is present in the tissues. It is also called as interstitial fluid. Friends, these four are synonyms. What are they? Extracellular fluid, that is ECF, intercellular fluid, tissue fluid, and interstitial fluid. Friends, please concentrate on these four words. What are they, friends? Extracellular fluid, or intercellular fluid, or interstitial fluid, or tissue fluid. These all are synonyms, friends. So what is extracellular fluid? Extra means outside, cell means cell. This is the fluid present outside the cell. You know, friends, cell has intercellular fluid also. It is present inside the cell. But this fluid is present outside the cell. So what is lymph, friends? Lymph is the extracellular fluid after passing into lymph capillaries and lymph vessels is called lymph. The extracellular fluid which enters into the lymph capillaries is called as what, friends? Lymph. See, friends, the total extracellular fluid won't enter into the lymph capillaries. A little amount of the extracellular fluid enters into the lymph capillaries. The extracellular fluid which enters into the lymph capillaries is called as lymph. The remaining extracellular fluid once again enters into the blood vessels, friends. So what is lymph, friends? The extracellular fluid after passing into lymph capillaries and lymph vessels is called lymph. See, friends, lymph flows in the lymphatic system. Blood flows in the blood vascular system. Blood vascular system has what, friends? Arteries, veins, capillaries. Likewise, lymphatic system has lymph capillaries, lymph vessels, and lymph ducts. Okay, friends. Now, what is lymph, friends? Lymph is the extracellular fluid after passing into lymph capillaries and lymph vessels is called lymph, friends. Next, see, friends. Lymph is another fluid in our body which circulates in lymphatic system. See, friends, blood circulates in the blood vascular system. Lymph circulates in the lymphatic system. So, lymph is another fluid. Next, friends, what is lymph? This is important, friends. Lymph is a part of the blood. But you have to remove RBC from the blood, plasma proteins from the blood, and platelets from the blood. You take blood in a test tube, friends. For example, you remove RBC, red blood cells. Then you remove platelets, then you remove plasma proteins. The remaining part is called as what, friends? Lymph. So blood minus red blood cells plus plasma proteins plus platelets is called as what, friends? Lymph. Or lymph is equal to plasma plus lymphocytes. You know what is plasma, friends? It is a fluid part of the blood. If that plasma with only lymphocytes. Lymphocytes are what, friends? They are WBC, one type of WBC. So plasma plus lymphocytes is called as what, friends? Lymph. Okay, friends. Now see, friends, characters of the lymph. Lymph is a colorless fluid. You know, friends, blood is red in color. Plasma is yellowish white in color. What is the color of the lymph? It is colorless fluid. It has no RBC. It has no platelets. And it has no large plasma proteins. So lymph has no RBC, no red blood cells, no platelets, and no large plasma proteins. It has more number of leukocytes, friends. Lymph has more number of WBC, more number of leukocytes. But not all WBC, friends. Only one type of WBC. What is that, friends? Lymphocytes. Lymph has only lymphocytes. What are lymphocytes? Lymphocytes are WBC. Lymphocytes are leukocytes. Okay, friends. Why we are calling them as lymphocytes? Lymphocytes are named because they travel mainly within the lymph. See, friends, remaining all white blood cells, they take neutrophils, monocytes, etc., etc. They flow in the blood, but lymphocytes flow in the what, friends? They travel mainly in the lymph. Because of that, we are calling them as lymphocytes. Next, friends. Lymph has plasma and lymphocytes, just what I told. Lymph has what, friends? Plasma and lymphocytes. Lymph has less oxygen and less nutrients, except fats. See, friends, lymph has less oxygen. Lymph has less nutrients like glucose and amino acids, but it has more nutrients. What is that, friends? More fats. Name the nutrients which are present in the lymph. That is only the fats. Lymph has more fats than the glucose and amino acids. So it has less nutrients like glucose and amino acids. It has more nutrients like fats, friends. It has less oxygen and less nutrients, but it has more fats. Okay, friends. Now, lymph has more carbon dioxide and other waste. What is the friends? Lymph has more carbon dioxide and other waste like urea, other metabolic waste like urea, friends. Lymph is the interstitial fluid, just now I told, friends, or tissue fluid or extracellular fluid. Interstitial fluid, tissue fluid, extracellular fluid or intercellular fluid. The fluid present in the intercellular space means what, friends? In between cells is called interstitial fluid. What is interstitial fluid, friends? It is present in between intercellular space. What is intercellular space? The space present between two cells. That is called as what, friends? Interstitial fluid. Okay, friends. Next, this is very, very important, friends. Very, very important. This neat question, friends. Due to hydrostatic pressure, friends, hydrostatic pressure, very, very important, friends. Here you have to remember two words. One is hydrostatic pressure and then one is osmotic pressure. This is neat question, friend, MSET question. Due to hydrostatic pressure at the arteriole end, friends, you know. See here, friends. Since this is heart, from heart, arteries carry blood to the body parts. These arteries, the ends of the arteries called as arterioles. Arterioles splits into capillaries. Capillaries fuse to form venules. Venules fuse to form veins. So the arteriole end, here, friends, this arteriole end. Okay? Okay, friends. See, friends. Due to hydrostatic pressure at the arteriole end, some portion of the blood comes out from the blood capillaries into the intercellular space. This is important, friends. ఏంటి ఫ్రెండ్స్, మనకి గుండె నుండి ఆర్టరీస్ ద్వారా రక్తం శరీర భాగాలకు వస్తుంది. ఈ ఆర్టరీస్ ఏమవుతాయి, ఫ్రెండ్స్? ఆర్టీరియోల్స్గా విడిపోతాయి. ఈ ఆర్టీరియోల్స్ దగ్గర బ్లడ్ ప్రెషర్ ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది, ఫ్రెండ్స్. అక్కడ ఉన్న ఆ ప్రెషర్ని ఏమంటున్నాం, ఫ్రెండ్స్? మనం హైడ్రోస్టాటిక్ ప్రెషర్ అంటున్నాం. ఈ హైడ్రోస్టాటిక్ ప్రెషర్ వల్ల బ్లడ్ నుండి, బ్లడ్ వెసల్స్ నుండి లేదా క్యాపిలరీస్ నుండి బ్లడ్లోని కొంత ఫ్లూయిడ్ బయటకు వస్తుంది. బయటకంటే ఎక్కడికి, ఫ్రెండ్స్? సెల్స్ మధ్యకు వస్తుంది, టిష్యూస్ మధ్యకు వస్తుంది. సీ, ఫ్రెండ్స్, డ్యూ టు హైడ్రోస్టాటిక్ ప్రెషర్ ఎట్ ద ఆర్టీరియోల్ ఎండ్, సమ్ పోర్షన్స్ ఆఫ్ ది బ్లడ్ comes out from the blood capillaries into the intercellular space. ఇప్పుడు బ్లడ్ నుండి ఏమొచ్చింది, ఫ్రెండ్స్? కొంత ఫ్లూయిడ్ బయటకు వచ్చింది. ఎక్కడికి? టిష్యూస్ మధ్యకి, సెల్స్ మధ్యకి వచ్చింది. ఆ ఫ్లూయిడ్ని ఏమంటున్నాం, ఫ్రెండ్స్? దిస్ ఫ్లూయిడ్ ఫార్మ్స్ ఇంటర్స్టిషియల్ ఫ్లూయిడ్ ఆర్ టిష్యూ ఫ్లూయిడ్ ఆర్ ఎక్స్ట్రాసెల్యులర్ ఫ్లూయిడ్. See, friends, now that fluid is present not in the blood, not in the blood vessels. It is present in between cells. It is present in the tissues. So we are calling it as what, friends? Interstitial fluid or tissue fluid or extracellular fluid. Okay, friends. Now, ఇప్పుడు ఏమైంది, ఫ్రెండ్? మనకి హైడ్రోస్టాటిక్ ప్రెషర్ వల్ల కొంచెం బ్లడ్లో కొంత ఫ్లూయిడ్స్ బయటకు వచ్చినాయి. ఎక్కడికి వచ్చినాయి? టిష్యూ మధ్యలోకి వచ్చినాయి. దీన్ని మనం ఏమన్నాం? ఇంటర్స్టిషియల్ ఫ్లూయిడ్ అన్నాం, ఫ్రెండ్స్. నౌ సీ, ఫ్రెండ్స్, వన్ మోర్. డ్యూ టు ఆస్మాటిక్ ప్రెషర్ ఎట్ ద వెన్యులార్ ఎండ్, most of the tissue fluids return to the blood capillaries. Malli చూడండి ఫ్రెండ్స్ ఇక్కడ due to osmotic pressure. See friends, due to osmotic pressure. See friends, please concentrate on this. This is arteriole end. The fluid comes out from the arterioles into the tissues, that is called a tissue fluid. Okay friends, now this tissue fluid, some of this tissue fluid once again enters into the venules at the venular end. It is due to what friends? Due to osmotic pressure. Due to osmotic pressure, the interstitial fluid enters into the venules due to osmotic pressure. Here this is hydrostatic pressure friends. Due to hydrostatic pressure, the fluid comes out from the blood vessels. Due to osmotic pressure, the fluid enters into the blood vessels. Okay friends, hydrostatic pressure and osmotic pressure, very very important friends. Okay friends, see friends, due to osmotic pressure at the venular end, most of the tissue fluid return to the blood capillaries. Very important friend. Due to hydrostatic pressure, a part of the fluid or a part of the blood or the fluids of the blood comes out into the tissues. These tissue fluids or interstitial fluids once again enter into the blood vessels through venular end friends. By which pressure? By osmotic pressure. Okay friends, now here one more important friends. After the exchange of incoming and outgoing and incoming, little amount of tissue fluid enters into lymphatic system friends. So after that what happened? Some fluids which which comes out from the blood vessels enters into what friends? Into lymphatic system. What is the friends? Lymph capillaries. First they enters into the lymph capillaries, to the lymph vessels, next lymph ducts. Okay friends, finally this tissue fluid, that is lymph, reaches to blood through subclavian vein. See friends, here the lymph or the interstitial fluid which enters into the lymphatic system is called as lymph friends. This lymph, it first enters into the lymph capillaries to lymph vessels to lymph ducts. Then at last once again it enters into the blood friends. Through which veins friends? Through subclavian veins. Finally this tissue fluid, that is lymph, reaches the blood through subclavian veins. Okay friends, now see friends, lymphatic system forms accessory route through which tissue fluid flows from tissue space into the blood. What is lymphatic system friends? It is accessory route. It is another route. It is a bypass friends, through which lymph or tissue fluid from tissues enters into the blood friends. Okay, now very important friends, the lymph enters into the lymph capillaries. We have lymph capillaries in our body friends, but there is one word, lacteal. Lacteals are the lymph capillaries which are present in the villi of small intestine. Friends, lacteals are what friends? Lymph capillaries. Where are they? They are present in the villi of small intestine. See friends, what is the function of these lacteals? These lacteals absorb fats. You know friends, lymph has less nutrients but more fats. What are those fats friends? They are absorbed by whom? By the lacteals. Okay, lymph has more fats, more nutrients, only fats. Okay friends, that is absorbed by lacteals. Next friends, the extracellular fluid, once again friends, after passing into lymph capillaries and lymph vessels is called lymph. Okay friends, now come to functions of lymph friends. See friends, it keeps the body cells moist. Friends, this is not there in your textbook, but being a biology student, being NEET student, you must know what are the functions of NEET. It keeps the body cells moist. It transports oxygen, hormones and nutrients to different parts of the body. It removes metabolic waste from the cells. You know it friends. It keeps the body cells moist. It transports oxygen. It has full of oxygen. You know it friends. It transports oxygen, hormones and nutrients to the different parts of the body. It removes metabolic waste from the cells. It transports antibodies and lymphocytes to the blood. It absorbs fats from the small intestine. It prevents harmful microorganisms. Okay, friends. These are what, friends? These are the functions of lymph. Please don't write in your IPE, friends. Please don't write this in your IPE. Friends, please don't write this in your IPE. Okay, friends. Now you see. See, friends. This is heart. This is artery. Reddish one is artery, friends. This is vein, bluish one. This greenish one is what, friends? Lymphatic system. This is accessory route. Accessory route. In this only lymph travels. See, friends. This lymph collected from the tissues and enters into the lymph capillaries. They form lymph vessels and they enter into what, friends? Vein. That is subclavian vein. Subclavian vein. This greenish one is represent what, friends? Lymphatic system. In this only lymph flows. Okay, friends. Now see, once again, see, friends. This is blood capillaries. Okay, friends. Due to hydrostatic pressure, the fluid is coming out, friends. That is tissue fluid. Okay, friends. This tissue fluid, some of the tissue fluid enters into the lymph and some of the tissue fluid enters into the veins. Once again, this is called as osmotic pressure, friends. Like the tissue fluid which enters into the lymphatic vessels is called as lymph. This lymph flows in the lymphatic system. Okay, friends. That is about what, friends? Lymphatic system. Once again, you see, friends, this is artery. Here the fluids are coming out. That's called as interstitial fluid. And once again, they are entering into the blood. The remaining fluid which enters into the lymph is called as what, friends? Into the lymphatic system is called as lymph. Okay. This is about what, friends? Lymph. Here you have to remember these two important words. What are they, friends? These two. What is lymph? Lymph is equal to blood minus plasma proteins plus RBC plus platelets. Lymph is equal to plasma minus lymphocytes. Plasma plus lymphocytes. Okay, friends. Thank you. Good day, friends.